State credit, they never quit. A lot of character on that team. We were exhausted. 5th game in 8 days, and I mean, just Jared's, ability to get open and want the ball in those situations. Put the ball in a few other people's hands, and it was not pretty. Yet and still, we had made enough plays to put ourselves in position to survive and advance.
I know a lot of these kids have been hearing that anything can happen to anyone in March. Now they've experienced it. Why would you say that's important for them to experience as a team?
I told them the toughest one to win is going to be the first one, just because a lot of pressure on them as SEC champs. New Mexico State is the underdog, no matter what, it would have been really heartbreaking to have not been able to represent the SEC as tournament champion and advance in this national championship. We got that one behind us. We'll get ready for Northeastern or Kansas and call it survive and advance for a reason.
Talk about McCormick again today, playing big.
Well, Javon's quickness, his athleticism, he's fearless. And when we played against probably the quickest team we played against all year long, needed him out there. Bryce took an early blow in the second half. I think again, 5 games in 8 days. Bryce was really tired. And so was Jared. So it was great to have Javon in there with fresh legs. Chuma played well, but he wasn't dominant. And so I'm hoping that we can somehow get back on Saturday, maybe get a later start time and get some recovery because our team's tired right now.
Are you worried about that, about the recovery?
Yeah. I mean, look, 5 games in 8 days. It's a lot. I think it showed. We had only so much effort and energy. We weren't very good defensively, and I think just because it was, a lot of it had to do with fatigue. And a lot of it had to do with their quickness and so on and so forth, but they beat us to 50-50 balls. They out-rebounded us. So now this a long afternoon today, getting that early game out of the way, and a full day's rest tomorrow. I can tell you right now, they will not be on their feet much before Saturday. A lot of film, not much walkthrough.
That last 110 seconds, was that the worst stretch you guys have played all year?
Well, we clearly didn't execute. Jared had a slip. He fouls out. He was not intending to foul that situation. There was a lot of time left. I did not want to burn my last time out because I wanted to be in a situation where if in inbounding we needed it, I didn't want to use it. But we didn't do a very good job in transition. Those guards, listen, those little guys, they're fast. They don't care how many bodies we could have showed. They were going to drive it downhill, and they did.
The guys coming off the court seemed kind of down and frustrated. They seemed a little bit better in the locker room, but how do you get them back up emotionally?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's a great sign that they were down and frustrated because they realized they almost let one slip away. They care. I tell parents all the time, Coach, what do I do? My son, he makes a mistake and he pouts, he puts his head down. Sometimes he even cries. I said, listen, it's easier to teach him to care a little less than to teach him to care at all. Our guys are hard on themselves and they're a little down because they want this so badly. It's a good problem to have.
Bryce said that you made the team very aware that New Mexico State was not a great free throw shooting team. So he was kind of calculating that in his head when he was trying to contest that 3 late. Didn't mean to foul, but ultimately it wasn't the worst thing that happened.
That tells you what I work with every day. So glad it worked out.
Javon's talked about how you feel, you're hard on him. You just acknowledge that you're hard on him.
Absolutely.
And you go in the locker room today and you said you gave him some praise. It's a good feeling for him. What did you see from him today? The
reason why I usually I'm hard on guys, is because either one, they're afraid to fail, and I want them more afraid of me than failing. And the second thing is when I want more. And so I've been on Javon all year long to be more of an effective defender, to not be afraid to make plays, to stop just being out there logging minutes and worried about making mistakes. And that's what I get on him for. I have not had to get him on him for that in this tournament or in Nashville, because he's out there making plays. He's not afraid to fail.
I saw you take a pretty heavy size. You were walking off the floor. What's going through your mind?
Well, I mean, Listen, if we'd have lost the game, we'd have got beat by a good team. If we lost the game, we'd have contributed to it by not taking care of the basketball and not executing. Our guys have played 5 games in 8 days. This was the 3rd earliest tip. They're popped. And that had a lot to do with the fact that we could not get a stop and we couldn't close out the win.
I think you guys had, my math might be wrong, but I think you had 4 turnovers through the first 37 minutes of the game, and then you had 6 in the last 3 minutes. Was that just being tired, you think?
Yeah,
or?
It was being exhausted, not having Jared out there, New Mexico State making plays, and us not attacking that pressure instead of just trying to survive and hang on and almost give it away. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bruce.